What up guys, it's IODE. Today we're going to be going into Ableton and I'm going to be showing you how to make a techno beat. Let's get into it. So today I wanted to go over how to make a techno beat because it's pretty distinct and actually not too difficult. I already have a beat that I made here that I want to show you guys and kind of show you what I'm going to be showing you how to make today. So I'll play that for you really fast. So awesome, that's the core of it right there. We have 3 channels here, and I have them just grouped together under drums. I tend to use drum racks. You don't necessarily have to. I know a lot of people don't use drum racks. They just use audio channels, and then they just put the samples in directly, and that's totally fine too. This works exactly the same way. I removed all the other sounds in this drum rack, so these are just the kick. So yeah, you can just do this with audio if you want to. What I have going on here, I'll just play it for you. So each channel one by one. Here is the kick. This is the core of the sound. This is meant to more punch through and provide more high end so that you can hear the kick itself. So I'll play this for you, just this first channel. You can hear it just has that like boom and that distortion. It's just like punching through. So that is that right there. What I have on the next channel is I have this same kick, except I have a bunch of reverb on it and I have it like EQ'd differently. So I'll play that for you now. You can hear it's very muddled. It's specifically made to be layered. And lastly, for this channel, this is just my hi-hats. That's that. And then I have an open hat coming in. Here is just some reverb on that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And I'll play it for you in a second, what it sounds like with no effects on it. This kick was just the first kick I grabbed from a sample pack. It's just a house kick. I think it's tuned to A. I tuned it up so that it was in key with F minor. I did it in F minor just so that the bass punches through. Transposing is pretty easy if you're just manipulating the sound directly. All you have to do is go into like the audio track and then just there's a setting and you just go transpose 1. If you're doing it in the drum rack, you select the sound, go to controls, and transpose +1. So that kick I grabbed, I just experimented around with it until I got the sound that I was looking for. What this would sound like without any effects on it, turn off my reverb, because I do have a return bus track with some reverb. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't have anywhere near as a punch or impact. That kick itself is actually pretty good for this. Okay, so this kick pattern is incredibly simple. It's just 4 on the floor, pretty straightforward. Then what I did for effects is I grabbed the drum bus, and the drum bus is one of my favorite plugins because it's really easy to make kicks just pack a punch when you're using the drum bus. And so the settings I used here, and a lot of this was just messing around till I got something that I thought sounded good. So what I did here is I first cranked up the drive to 59%. These are the exact settings that I used. And I'll just kind of play everything as I go along so you can see what that alone does. You already can tell that that makes a big difference, but I wanted to continue to mess around with it. Next is I changed this to medium. These settings, you can just play around with them. Okay, so I have that set to medium. Now let's turn the crunch up to 51%. I want to dampen it so it kind of takes some of that harshness out up top. Turn that down to 2.73. Alright, now here's where we add more of the boom, and we'll tune that bass frequency a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the frequency 43.6, and that's just so it's tuned to F. I'm going to turn that boom up to 43%. And that is pretty much all I did in the drum bus. Play that for you. It just really has that, I don't know, that punch, you know. Next thing I did is I added an EQ8, and with the EQ8 I really just played around with it till I got something that I was happy with. I'll play around with it while the beat is playing so that you can kind of hear the difference it makes while I'm going. Awesome, that's fine for that. That's pretty much all I did for that channel. Cool. Next I'll move on to the other drum track I have with the layered kick. This one is just meant to add more depth and really give it that like techno feel with a lot of reverb. So first thing I did with this is I threw on a reverb track and I set it to high global quality, reduced the size down to 16, and then turned the decay time up to 2.76 seconds, and then turn the dry wetness down just a bit. And that'll do it for that. I'll play that for you. Kind of getting there, but I still want it to pack that same punch the other one does. So I throw on a drum bus, set this to hard, turn the drive up a bit, 33%. And I want to dampen it because again this is just meant to layer it. And I'll also turn that frequency down to F. Alright, see that's getting somewhere. Sounded pretty good. Throw on an EQ8. And for this one, I wanted to make it so it wasn't quite so muddled. So I just kind of took out some of the low end. Just so that reverb had a bit more emphasis. Then I threw on another EQ8, and for this one, I boosted this up a little bit up here. It's something pretty similar to what I did with the other EQ. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, you can hear a big difference that EQ made, and then that really helped, gave it the booming sound, took out some of that high end, and made it really pack a punch. So let's see what those sound like together now. I have the volumes adjusted a bit over here, so I have that first kick that's meant to punch through a bit more. I have that quite a bit louder. And then I have the other one, it's set to negative 1.8 dB, and then the other one is set to negative 10.6. Okay, and I routed that first one to a return bus reverb track. The settings for those, I set it to high. I set the size to 31.74. The decay time to 1.76 seconds, and that dry wet knob to 75%. That it'll sound something like this. Cool. Sounds pretty good to me. Really has that that punchiness. It has that wide sound that techno is known for. With this last channel, I added some hi-hats. I kind of just played around with some different hi-hats till I found one that I liked. And then here, I just again threw on an open hat that I found that I liked. The patterns for these hi-hats is actually quite simple as well. All I have here is 16th notes, and then I have the volume alternating between each of the hats. How you do that really easy is you select each, like every other hat, and hold shift while you're doing that. And when you do that, you can adjust the velocity of these individually. And then when I have those open hats come in, I have those coming in off beat. You can also add all sorts of other percussive elements in there, and you switch things up, have things come in and out, all sorts of stuff like that. So the only thing I really did to this channel is I added a reverb track. Again, set the quality to high, reduce that to 16.18, leave that dry wet knob there, should turn down the decay time. It's not too much reverb, but it's enough to blend in with those kicks a bit more. And that's about it for this beat. Again, it's really not too difficult. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, found it helpful. If you did enjoy this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification because we have so much more cool content coming up for you guys. This is going to be the last tutorial of 2019, but going into 2020, we have so many cool things planned, and I really hope that you stick with us through it. We'll see you guys soon, and happy holidays.